How many people watching?
It's just a new little stream starting soon. I'm about to show you. I got some new shit you can see.
It's supposed to be at 12:30.
Drugs.
Robert had him on the porch, flipped him over, and his leg was
yeah, no, I was just saying playing music and shit.
I was saying, what's film out there? You know what I'm saying? Roman just had him flipped over in his arm and his mouth and shit, and he came in for me to pet him, and he was all wet and shit. Like, man, the way he's getting pieced up out there like that. All right, there, full-time family.
What's going on, full-time family? It's Friday. You ain't got no job. No, you probably do. Either way, we're about to talk about some fights today. But tomorrow, I don't think there's any fights tonight. But tomorrow, actually, man, it's crazy because there's two events I want to watch tomorrow. So I might be having to like trying to dual screen it. You know what I'm saying? Try and watch it at the same time. Because tomorrow we got UFC Lincoln, of course, headlined by Justin Gaethje versus James Vick. And then also you got the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships 2. And they're bringing out the big names, man, at least as far as UFC veterans. I mean, MMA, you got FELONY Charles Bennett on the card. He was at the press conference calling somebody out. Some dude in a suit. It looked like one of the promoters almost calling him a bitch at the press conference. That shit was funny. And then he said, if I beat my opponent tomorrow, after I knock him out, I want to fight you. He was calling shit out. It was fucking classic Charles Bennett. So that was dope. That's going to be happening. You got the queen of bare knuckle, Beck Rawlings, over there looking amazing. Fucking won her first bare knuckle fight. Yo, I want to watch that too, not gonna lie. But with that being said, let's check in with the full-time family. I'm gonna fuck with y'all in the chat while we get the show started, give a few more people time to roll in the show. And of course, I wanted to play this yesterday, but no better day than today. Of course, we have, you can see right here on Gaethje vs. Vick, the co-main event is also Michael Johnson versus Andre Fili. Now, you might remember Michael Johnson and Justin Gaethje had that iconic fight back in the day. It ended up being like Fight of the Year contender. It was Justin Gaethje's first fight in the UFC. It was a win, comeback win, spectacular fashion, and it really shot him into stardom as far as the UFC is concerned. But we've been doing these MMA, you know what I'm saying, Yankovic, Weird Al Yankovic, whatever you want to call parodies. And we've been doing them since way back then, you know what I'm saying? And I actually just made a new separate channel for these, so I'm not going to put them up on this channel. But to start the live shows off, hey, I mean, it's kind of like a damn radio show, and it's an MMA parody. So if you don't like it and you're listening on the replay, skip forward. If you don't like it right now, go away for like 3 minutes while we give some more people some time to roll in anyway. You know what I'm saying? Quit kidding yourself. So with that being said, let's motherfucking start the show with the original Michael Johnson versus Justin Gaethje. This was from back in the day. This one was pretty fun. I think this one has both sides as well. You got Michael Johnson and you got the Justin Gaethje side. So we'll run this real quick. Put that in theater mode. There we go. What's going on, full-time family?
Yeehaw! Well, my name is Michael Johnson, and his name is Justin Gaethje. By the end of the song, I'm gonna make Justin Gaethje hate me. See, he's an inbred motherfucker, cause he fucked his cousin's mother, and he didn't use a rubber, so his cousin is his son. And like his dad, his son is gonna grow up to be a punk, fighting cans on the streets, trying to pick a fight with bums. He's only undefeated, cause he hasn't fought with me yet, and he hasn't fought Khabib yet. Shit, he ain't fought Kevin Lee yet. So this day in fight, he'll regret. He's a Jason Knight reject. You can say goodbye, mister, and I heard you fucked your sister. Yeehaw! Hell yeah, DJ, I fucking like this song. Real quick, let me say, Mike, you got me all wrong. See this right here now, this is an accent. And with or without it, I'm about to kick your ass, bitch. That was a low blow when you said I fucked my sister. Would it be a low blow if I said you're a...
Alright, that was a throwback, full-time family. That was the throwback. That was Gaethje versus Michael Johnson way back in the day. We didn't have no quality production. I don't even know if we had the good microphone back when we recorded that, to be honest. That was just Michael Johnson. If you remember leading up to their fight, Michael Johnson versus Justin Gaethje, they had that trash talk. And Michael Johnson was walking in the hallway like trying to get Justin Gaethje to swing on him or something. He was talking big shit walking in the hallway like, you inbred motherfucker, something you fucked your cousins, you inbred motherfucker. Like Michael Johnson was talking big shit to Justin Gaethje. So that's kind of the context for that song. That's why I said that was a low blow when you said you fucked my sister. So yeah, that was all in context of that fight. But yeah, that's kind of what we've been doing. So with that being said, we got Justin Gaethje versus James Vick. This one actually professionally produced by Stockton Slaps. My motherfucking dog reached out, said, hey, next time you do one of those MMA parodies, send it to me. I actually do some high quality production. I'm not talking about no kitty level shit. I'll hook you up. And so he did that. And so this is going to sound way better if you haven't heard it yet. I mean, it's the day before Gaethje versus Vick. We've played it throughout the week because it's our best one to date. A lot of people believe. Let's run the remastered by Stockton Slaps Gaethje versus Vick Boys Round Here remix. This is one of my favorites as well.
It's full time.
MMA.
Well, the boys round here don't have no fear. James Vick's been talking shit, so I'ma kick him in his rear. I'ma kick him in his legs, then I'ma punch him in his ear. Yeah, I'ma knock this fucker out, then I'ma buy us both a beer. You see, I've had a long day with training and stacking hay, so I don't got time for all your bitching and whining. I don't know what you were thinking when you signed up to fight me at UFC Lincoln, but you had to be drinking. You had to be thinking that you were actually decent, but I'm about to prove you're not when I beat your ass this weekend. They call me Justin Gaethje, and I know you fucking hate me, but the fans all love me, and you they don't fuck with. Beat your ass, then get another truck with the money that I won and give the rest to my honey. See, the boys round here don't have no fear. We're fighting in the UFC and it's just you and me. Sing along while I get me a beer. Yeehaw! See, the boys round here don't have no fear. We're fighting in the UFC and it's just you and me. Sing along while I get me a beer. Yeehaw! Wow, Justin Gaethje, it's clear that you're fucking crazy. If you think that you can see me, I'm John Cena and you're Stevie. We both know that you can't beat me. You're riding a losing streak. In your fight IQ, it stinks. Every fight you be taking beatings, and I'm not gonna take it easy. Yeah, I'm coming for your rank, and I'm coming to put that performance of the night bonus in the bank. And I'm not the one to play with, most dangerous and underrated. If you ain't know, they call me James Vick, and now let me hear you sing it. The boys round here don't have no fear. We're fighting in the UFC and it's just you and me. Sing along while I get me a beer. Yeehaw! See, the boys round here don't have no fear. We're fighting in the UFC and it's just you and me. Sing along while I get me a beer. Yeehaw!
Let's go, full-time family. We got Justin Gaethje versus James Vick coming up tomorrow, this Saturday. We had no UFC action last week, but of course it was still a big week because not only did we have Kayla Harrison versus Jose Cotton on Thursday, and as well as PFL 6, you know, Ray Cooper versus Pavel Kush. That was, of course, big for JW and the full-time family. He bet like 600 on that fight. Crazy out there. But, hey, it is what it is. So that was a fun night on Thursday. But, of course, Friday we also had Bellator 204, where we had Darren Caldwell defend his title against Noah Lawat. We had James Gallagher got knocked out, you know, in the first round by Ricky Bandejas. So, I mean, it was still a pretty crazy weekend as far as MMA, but no UFC action. But the UFC returns, and it's returning in a big way because we got a great main event here. Now, like I said earlier in the show, there's definitely some competition this Saturday with that bare knuckle, but I don't know exactly how big they are yet. I know they're coming though. As long as that thing can stay like fucking sanctioned and nobody, nothing happens, no one gets seriously injured. Because I don't know, I've watched some bare knuckle events in the past and some motherfuckers got laid out crazy. So we'll see what happens. Right now it's looking great. They're getting big names. It's looking like a good show, and the last one was very entertaining. So I'm gonna be watching that until the wheels fall off. So I want to watch that as well tomorrow. And now this card, the main event and co-main event are for sure going to be fun. The rest of it isn't the most stacked, to be honest. This is more for the hardcore fans, I'm not going to lie. I mean, you know, you got John Moraga versus Figueiredo. You got Eric Anders returning. That's good. I know there's going to be certain people pumped for that fight. You know, Roll Tide. And then Ellenberger, I mean, this is more for the hardcore fans, of course, versus Brian Barberena. Some people might not know Brian Barberena actually retired Jake Ellenberger's twin brother, Joe Ellenberger. But it wasn't just the fact that he beat him so bad he rethought his whole career as an MMA fighter. He had health issues in the past, and then that was just like the final loss, that, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back. So Jake Ellenberger's also been sliding, man. He's got knocked out in like 3 of his last fights, pretty nasty knockouts too. So it's gonna be a tough ass fight for Ellenberger, but he's like fighting for his fucking brother's honor low key in this fight. So that's a big fight for Ellenberger, and if anyone that knows that history, trying to take on Barberena, but Barberena's looked great, so that's going to be a good fight as well. Of course, you got Casey versus Hill. That was supposed to be Grasso versus Hill, who was injured. And then, of course, the co-main event, Michael Johnson versus Andre Fili. That's got potential to be a banger. I mean, it's going to be hard to still fight of the night from Justin Gaethje versus James Vick, but Fili versus Johnson is going to be a great fight. Fili's very well-rounded, trains out of Team Alpha Male. I mean, he's a great fighter. He's fought a lot of the guys in the top 15 of the division, trains with a lot of the guys in the top 10 of the division. So Andre Fili's very talented, and Michael Johnson is too, but he's like lost 5 of his last 6 fights. I mean, he's been fighting the best guys. He even has a win over Dustin Poirier, who could be fighting for the title. But other than that, man, he's been losing. But he's fought guys like Justin Gaethje and Darren Elkins, where he had him hurt, he was up in the fight, and then they were able to come back, weather the storm, and win ultimately. So he needs a win, not only for potentially his career's sake, but he said in the interview leading up to this, for his sanity's sake. So there's a lot on the line in that fight. I love that co-main event. And then, of course, you got the main event that was supposed to be Iaquinta versus Gaethje, but Iaquinta's out. Vick's in. James Vick, the Texecutioner, 9-1 in the UFC, great record in the UFC. Taller lightweight taking on Justin Gaethje, who's probably got, I honestly, man, from what I've seen lately, I would say Justin Gaethje's got the most lethal leg kicks in the division. I know Barboza was known for that for a while, but looking at Justin Gaethje's last 3 fights, it looks like these boys are going to be walking out on fucking crutches after every fight. As good as Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez are, as much heart as they have, it just looked like it ain't got nothing to do with heart. You're just going to have to, your legs are going to give soon. You know, you're going to have to lose the fight because you can't walk. This motherfucker is banging your legs. He's coming in. He's putting the pressure on you. He's going to make you get in a firefight. He's even got some wrestling he hasn't utilized or we haven't really got to see yet in his UFC career. But this could be the fight to use it against the taller James Vick. You got to think those leg kicks might be that much more dangerous against a taller, more skinnier leg James Vick. You know, a taller opponent. So Justin Gaethje, he's riding a 2-fight losing streak, but he's lost to the best guys in the world, and he definitely presents a lot of threats to the Texecutioner James Vick. So that's going to be, of course, a great main event. Fat Ninja Slip, I was just about to say it, man. You took the words right out of my mouth. By the way, stop biting your bagels and hit that like button. We got 31 people watching. That's still about 17 people finishing up their bagels. When you're done biting your bagels and being a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It'll be much appreciated. There we go. I see 1. I see 2. That's what I'm talking about, full-time family. But yeah, so James Vick versus Justin Gaethje going down tomorrow. Going to be a great card. Can't fucking wait. It's been a while for some UFC action. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. You know, it's like, you know, the heart grows fonder when you're away. It's like we didn't see no UFC. So even though this isn't the most stacked card on paper, especially for the casual fan, especially with the competition on this Saturday, I can't wait for it. I mean, we can even look over the prelims real fast. I mean, you got Krause versus Warley Alves. That's a tough fight. I mean, Sandhagen versus Alcantara. You got Andrew Sanchez versus Maluco Perez. Mickey Gall versus fucking George Sullivan down here. Joanne Calderwood versus Kalindra Faria. Drew Dober versus John Tuck. And Ronnie Yaya versus Luke Sanders, man. As a hardcore fan, I really think this card, to me, this card's stacked. I like the card. I liked all the fights on the prelims, the Fox prelims, and the main card. But I know I'm just a fucking hardcore UFC and Bellator and some other organization fans, and a lot of people don't share the same fucking, you know, opinion on this card. Some people don't think it's the most stacked. I can't wait for it. So we'll see what happens. I'll definitely be tuning into UFC Lincoln, Fight Night, Gaethje versus Vick. Going to be a great main event, co-main event. Forward in the building. He says, we in this bitch. What's up, full-time family? What's going on, family? We got Alex Alberto G in here. We got Stamina MC, my motherfucking dog, in his house. He said, yep, that's tight. Stockton knows his shit. Sounds tight here in my studio. Hey, that's dope. That's dope. I'm listening to it, and these I got these from the Dollar Tree for work. You know, them headphones still sounds great in these, but I bet you it sounds 10 times better where you're at. Web PK Vid says, don't have no fear. Roland X says, Tony Ferguson is back. Hell yeah. You guys see that? Ferguson versus Pettis. Can't wait to talk about that. That's one of the, actually the second thing we're going to be talking about. But the first thing I saw is, you guys know, UFC 229, headlined by McGregor versus Khabib. It's deeper than rap. Oh, you guys want to show? Well, let me show you guys this other fucking premiere real quick. Let me show you guys. Do you guys want to see something that I worked on till like 6 in the morning last night? So I thought I was gonna wake up late for the show and be late for work again like yesterday, but because I was up late working on this. I got a new video format. You know, the normal just still picture. I think we're gonna do it. Look like this, and I can show you in the live stream. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Boom. No full time. Just, we got the news. Let's say we were talking about Khabib's father. You know, we can have this. We can scroll through the actual article type deal. You see the little lower deal with the thing. I mean, what do y'all think about that? Let me know in the chat. I'll check that out. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Khabib and how this is deeper than rap. Some of us already know, man. And shit, we saw what happened when Kevin Lee just said the word "mom" at a press conference. Michael Chiesa called him, and Khabib, he's definitely a father's guy. You know what I'm saying? He's always giving praise to his father, his coaches, very respectful to his father. Gotta be. That's somebody that's got Khabib to where he is today. So Khabib's father is highly touted amongst that camp. So Conor McGregor's coming out and calling him a quivering coward. You can imagine this is just gonna wanna fucking make Khabib smash him more. But it might make, think about this, this could be the mental warfare. Conor McGregor starting to, this might be a button he can actually press. Khabib Nurmagomedov's not a guy you can intimidate with your trash talk, but you might be able to piss him off. You might be able to talk about his father, someone you know he loves. You might be able to talk about Dagestan, calling Dagestani dog shit. You might be able to piss him off talking about the shit that you know he loves, and then get him out of his fucking game. Make him think he's gonna strike with you in round one. Make him think before I put my hands on him, I want to show him I can outstrike him. Make him think that shit. Make him, whatever you gotta do. Mental warfare. Conor McGregor is fucking great at it, and this could be part of it, because this is poking the bear, no pun intended. Like, but with the fucking sharp ass stick, but not one that's doing a lot of damage, just enough to piss him the fuck off when you're talking about Khabib's father, not just calling him a damn coward. Like, that's some shit that they don't take seriously, you know for sure. So I'm gonna see what you guys had to say about that new format real quick in the chat, if you said anything before we continue with this article forward. And Stamina, Leon Dubson, what's going on? Infamous in the building. Ace Someday, my motherfucking dogs. American Mike Hales, what's going on, everybody? Anybody say anything about that? Looks, he says, that looks sick. Overlay was PK Vids. That's dope. Much appreciated. That's good to see. Because, yeah, I'm going to change it up. It's going to give you something to watch instead of just a still picture the whole time. So, yeah, man. And, so, yeah, we might be doing the next video like that. So, yeah. But, so, this is what Conor's father had, Conor's father. This is what Conor McGregor shared on Twitter or Instagram. He shared that picture, and some Conor McGregor is a fucking this is crazy, dog. I haven't saw this yet, you guys. I saw this picture come out like after the whole Dolly incident, and somebody fucking said, yo, there's pictures of fucking Khabib looking scared on the bus. And I saw it, and I was like, man, he was probably just surprised. He was like, what the fuck just broke? You know, he probably didn't even know Conor was around at this point. But he kind of shared this on his Instagram, and he said, oh, shit, he tagged, is that, he fucking, oh, is that, who is this? Is this Khabib's father? Did he tag Khabib's dad on, he said, I can see you cowering behind fake respect, just like your middle child, a quivering coward. I don't know who this is, but this is clearly that's Khabib's father. What the fuck? Dog, he tagged Khabib's father in a picture of Khabib. Oh, Conor McGregor's gotta be careful here. Like I said, this is deeper than rap. Conor McGregor clearly don't give a fuck. He's notorious, but damn. You know what I'm saying? Khabib's father, and they don't seem like the people to fuck with. Now, allegedly, because I don't have the facts all the way, I've heard this multiple times, so I'm going to reiterate it. But like I said, you can look it up yourself. Allegedly, Khabib's father is actually on a terrorist list. So with that being said, I don't think these are the people you want to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's got a lot to do with the reason he hasn't been allowed over here, you know, as far as his visa. He's never been able to be in Khabib's corner when he fights because of his visa issues. And I think that terrorist list thing is kind of the part of the reason. So all I'm saying is these ain't the people to be fucking with. Calling them and their sons quivering cowards and shit. You better be motherfucking careful unless you just don't give a fuck. And I just don't think Conor McGregor does, because he tagged Khabib's father. Says, I can see you cowering behind fake respect, just like your middle child, a quivering coward. So he's calling Khabib and fucking his father. And he's even posting the picture where some would say that Khabib looks maybe a little quivery. I don't know, man. That's Conor McGregor clearly ain't fucking around. In July, McGregor made an appearance at the 2018 World Cup, posting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in what some perceived as another sly shot at Nurmagomedov. Today I was invited to the World Cup as a guest of the Russian President Vladimir Putin. This man is one of the greatest leaders of our time, says Conor McGregor, and I was honored to attend such a landmark event alongside him. Today was an honor for me, Mr. Putin. Thank you and congratulations on an amazing World Cup. So, Conor McGregor, like I said, this is deeper than rap. This is goddamn near allegedly got gang ties, political ties, family ties, fucking fighting ties. Holy shit, UFC 229 is going to be crazy. And speaking of UFC 229, we just got some more fight news as Anthony Pettis and Tony Ferguson is in the works, booked, however you want to say it. Anthony Pettis has announced it on social media, so you could say it's done. I mean, it's for sure looking like Tony Ferguson versus Anthony Pettis is going to be going down at UFC 229. El Kukui is back. He's healed up from his injury, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a better matchup, and it's crazy to think about it this way because Anthony Pettis is nobody's fucking warm-up fight, nothing like that. But if you're talking about a more dangerous fight for somebody coming off of a gruesome leg injury, you probably would likely take on Pettis over Kevin Lee, who was another guy who was training for this card. Kevin Lee said, I'm not going back and forth with y'all about it. Someone's getting their ass whooped at UFC 229. He's in training camp, so now Kevin Lee could just be a backup fight here. He, you know, like Kamaru Usman is stepping in at UFC 228 if anybody gets injured or misses weight. I don't like the misses weight clause. If someone misses weight in a title fight, I don't want to see someone else step in. Could you imagine that? And I shout out to Chael Sonnen for the thought that, you know, put this really out there, and like it's just the facts. Could you imagine if Conor McGregor or Khabib missed weight? Would you be cool with Kevin Lee stepping in because one of them missed weight by 1 pound? Fuck no. We gotta see McGregor versus Khabib. Ain't none of this if someone misses weight nonsense, Kevin Lee steps in. But if someone gets injured, for sure. If someone gets injured, Kevin Lee step in. But if someone misses weight, man, fight on. Somebody might not win the title. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Because, like I said, if McGregor or if Khabib misses weight by 0.5 pounds, less than a pound, would you really want to see this fight taken away from us just so Kevin Lee can hop in there because Khabib missed weight by less than a pound? That would be unfortunate. So that's why we'll see what happens at UFC 228 if Darren Till misses weight. I know that's what a lot of people are concerned about. They saw that video of his weight cut. It looks terrible. Of course he had the issue, but still, they said he went partially blind when he was cutting weight, and there was video of him looking bad trying to make weight. So if Darren Till misses weight, it's kind of the same deal. Do we lose that fight just because he misses weight, or is it only if someone gets injured? But that's another topic for another day. UFC 228 is coming up. UFC 229 is as well, but this is going to be the biggest fight card of the year for McGregor versus Khabib, Ferguson versus Pettis. Anthony Pettis, man, he looked amazing in his last fight versus Michael Chiesa. He submitted him with that triangle arm bar. Fucking crazy submission, you know, as far as who he did it against. Michael Chiesa is a great grappler. One of the best jiu-jitsu players probably in the lightweight division. And he got submitted in, you know, by Anthony Pettis in that triangle armbar. That was super dope performance from Pettis. And like he said in the past, he's always one win away from a title fight. If Anthony Pettis beats Tony Ferguson, who was just stripped of the interim title, boom, right up there. Number 1, number 2 contender. Anthony Pettis. I mean, this motherfucker did used to be on a Wheaties box. Don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up. He used to be on the Wheaties box. On top of that, could you imagine Pettis versus McGregor? But that, you know, if he was back on his shit, I mean, Pettis versus Khabib, not Pettis versus McGregor, anybody. Pettis back for the title. Pettis coming back for the title. I mean, McGregor's big versus anybody, but I'm just saying, Pettis, he's not as big as his name used to be, but he's still, you know, a bigger name in the lightweight division. If he can get a win over Tony Ferguson, he would have earned his way back. Ferguson is one of the best in the world. 10, 11 fight win streak at this point, stripped of that interim title. So for Ferguson versus Pettis, I love the fight, and I've been saying that leading up to this. That's one of the 3 options. I mean, there's only 3 guys really in the top 10 that were available. We saw Tony Ferguson talking about training for UFC 229. We saw Kevin Lee talking about training for UFC 229. But if you look at the rankings, there was only one other name that was possible. There was Ferguson, there was Lee, and there was Pettis. And Tony Ferguson did already say, yo, Kevin Lee already had his chance. This guy already had his chance. Ali Quinta, I think he said, already had his chance. Anthony Pettis is a new match for him. And I was saying this, man, and of course I don't think Tony Ferguson would duck anybody, but I was saying this. If he were to fight Kevin Lee at UFC 229, you got to think that'd be a completely different dynamic than the first fight. First fight, Kevin Lee had Tony Ferguson in a bad position, mounted, ultimately got submitted and lost the fight. We got to think about it. Kevin Lee came in that fight with the staph infection, we found out afterward, of course. And Tony Ferguson, since then, has suffered that pretty bad leg injury. So if Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson rematch today, not only would Kevin Lee not have staph infection, but Tony Ferguson's coming off of a pretty bad leg injury, so that fight could go completely different. And so, yeah, Kevin Lee did already have his chance, but that would have been, you know, an interesting rematch at the same time. But it's not going down. Ferguson versus Pettis, I still love this fight. Pettis had a great submission. He's one of the only open lightweights. He's always a big name, and if he can win this fight, he's fucked around and threw himself back into title contention. We'll see what happens, man. Gonna be a great fight. My early prediction, I'm low-key got El Cucuy. I got El Cucuy. I don't know if that sounds crazy or not. I don't know how much stock people are putting on his leg injury, but Tony Ferguson's the motherfucking man. You know what I'm saying? Well-rounded striking, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, everything you got. And speaking of Tony Ferguson, here's his announcement, I believe, or what he had to say on social media recently. Just some fucking hard work. That's what Tony Ferguson's about. That's why it's not so crazy. He's just the sound's nothing crazy. He's just telling him up. But that's why I'm not too surprised by Tony Ferguson's fucking, recovery. His training is unorthodox, but he's one of the hardest workers you ever see. If you watch their training sessions videos, he just has no fucking quit in the fight. It's crazy. That's why his cardio, he can go 5 rounds any day of the week. And this is what he had to say. This is something interesting about him fighting on UFC 229. I believe he's still going to be in that third man position, even though he's got to fight. Because this is what he had to say on Twitter. Champ shit only. Someone's getting suplex, snap down city style. Snap jitsu. I've got 3 opponents to train for. Fucking A. Bring that shit on. So when he says he's got 3 opponents to train for, of course we know Anthony Pettis, who he's going to be fighting likely. But if McGregor or Khabib get injured, those could be the other 2 opponents. So he could be fighting Pettis, but if someone gets injured, he's right back up in there for that title fight. So I don't know where Kevin Lee comes into this equation, if he just fights somebody else, if he doesn't fight on this card. But it looks like Tony Ferguson's not only going to be fighting Pettis, but potentially stepping in if anybody gets injured in that title fight, which is dope to see because of all the lightweights. The most deserving of that next title shot, of course, you would think is Tony Ferguson, who won that interim belt, was stripped of it. I mean, of course, you got Dustin Poirier up there. He's definitely in the running, but he's got the fight with Nate Diaz coming up. So, yeah, man, it's going to be an even better card. This is a big fight we're all going to be looking forward to. Gipperman says Anthony Pettis by leg kick. Yo, that's what I'm saying. That's what you got to worry about. We saw Raquel Pennington had that leg injury. What did Amanda Nunes do in that fight? Started kicking that motherfucker right from under. Alex Alberto G said Anthony Pettis is far from a warm-up fight. He's a live dog. All it takes is one head kick. That's what I'm saying. He's not a warm-up fight at all, so I didn't want to say that. I would just say I believe Kevin Lee today might be a tougher fight for Tony Ferguson, but definitely not a fucking warm-up fight at all. With that being said, though, we got 42 people watching right now, 25 thumbs up. There's still about 17 bagels out there people are biting on. With that being said, once you're done biting on your bagels, make sure you do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, much appreciated. But yeah, man, Tony Ferguson versus Anthony Pettis, UFC 229, it's going down. Meet me in the, all right, my bad, throwback. What else we got? We got Tyron Woodley showing he's ready for Darren Till. Your boy, motherfucking full-time toilet cleaner in the building. I swear, at the beginning of this video, Tyron Woodley was like, anybody can be cleaning motherfucking toilets. If you ever get too big to fucking clean up or mop these mats or clean a fucking toilet, then you lost sight of things. And this is the motherfucking welterweight champion. I'm not even gonna say it. I was gonna say maybe this got something to do with the full-time toilet clean. No, I'm just playing. But I'm just saying though. After that, it was a dope video from Tyron Woodley. But one of the things he did talk about was his upcoming fight with Darren Till at UFC 228, and the forwards in the building. I'm sure he's going crazy with the motherfucking Booger Bash 2018, Gorilla Smash 2018 right about now. Webb's PK Vid says UFC 229 press conference is going to be funny as hell. Yo, you got Conor McGregor and Khabib. That's already crazy. You're going to have Tony Ferguson talking about McNuggets and all of this shit, and it's going to be great. What up, full time, says Cam Murphy. Not much. What's going on, sister? Kevin Odell says, you know I'm riding with you. That's good to hear. Ever Loves Drugs says they should have did Ally Quinta versus Tony. Yeah, I think Ally Quinta, Tony Ferguson also said you already had your chance. That's what he was talking about as well. But Ally Quinta versus Tony, yeah, that would have been a good option as well. That would have for sure been a good option. But Quinta, you know, he's doing his thug thizzle. Got the real estate going. I don't know where he's trying to fight. I think he said he'll fight somebody maybe no earlier than Madison Square Garden. I don't recall. You know, I like Quinta fights when he fights. We're going to watch it and enjoy it when he does. But he's probably closing the motherfucking deal on a house as we speak, making that cash. Blake Nilly said, what's up, full-time fam? What's going on, Blake Nilly? We got 29 thumbs up. We got 2 people that are not going to ever finish biting their bagels. They said, I'm a fucking permanent bagel biter. They hit the thumbs down. We don't really care. We're just telling the full-time family. If you're enjoying the show, hit the thumbs up. Infamous says, I forgot Tony might be on the press conference. Khabib and Conor will try to ignore him. That's what I'm saying. If they're doing the whole card, you're probably going to have Ferguson up there, maybe even Pettis. Pettis probably going to be feeling a little disrespected. Like, all the attention is going to be on these dudes. I am a former champion. I'm in this fight for a reason. I just had a great submission over Michael Gaethje. Don't get it twisted. I'm still Showtime Pettis. I might fuck around and steal this whole show. It's going to be hard between McGregor, Khabib, Ferguson, and, of course, motherfucking Sean O'Malley. It's going to be hard, but don't forget that's Showtime Pettis. That's going to be a great fight. Let's hear what Tyron Woodley had to say.
Shout out to Darren Till, putting that fucking flame underneath me that making me want to kill some young buck that won my belt. Shout out to you. Shout out to you for thinking you can do it. For your confidence. For your confidence to think you can come and take it from the king. Shout out to you. Without that authentic confidence, without that authentic desire to be the champion, it took that for people to doubt me. It took that for people to have a short-term memory, forgetting of what I've done in this fucking sport. How many years I've been at the top. How many Goliaths I've knocked down. How many opponents. Who is my height? Name me one opponent in my division that is my height. Name me one. But also, when you get done with that, name me one that's faster. Name me one that punch harder. Name me one that can wrestle better than me. Name me one that can grapple better than me. Name me one that's smarter than me. Name me one that can strategize better than my squad. Name me one. You ain't gonna be able to. You ain't gonna be able to name me the equal opposite that's willing to get in there and die for this shit. Name me one. Darren Till? Yeah, he is a dope fighter. Shit, I like watching him fight, to be honest. I ain't gonna front. He ain't been in there with the lines I've been in there with. He ain't beat the giants I beat. He ain't stopped the unstoppables like I have. He ain't out-grappled the best grapplers in the world. He ain't out-strategized the best strategists in the world, Carlos Condit. Beat the overhand right wrestler, Koscheck. He ain't did that. My only L's have come to champions, title contenders, former champions. And those are days I took off on work. I ain't taking no more days off. My last loss was my last loss on God. So.
What? Oh, shit. I didn't expect him to say on God. Maybe a little bit of hyperbole in there. He said my last loss was my last loss on God. Tyron Woodley ain't fucking around, dog. He's not fucking around. And like my boy, who was it? Who was it? Infamous. It was someone else. Someone just said I like the non-whiny Tyron. Yipperman. He said I like the non-whiny Tyron. I do too, man. I might get some slack for this or whatever, but I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Woodley. I mean, I kind of always was a fan of him. I'm not a fan of everything, but who is? There's nobody you're a fan of that you like everything. You might like Darren Till, but do you like eating boogers? Probably fucking not. You might like, you know what I'm saying? You might like something someone does, but it doesn't mean you like everything they do. So yeah, whenever Tyron Woodley's what people perceive as race baiting or complaining or whatever the fuck, yeah, no one likes that. But what I do like is the new Tyron, and another thing I like about Tyron, when I say the new Tyron, I mean He ain't doing none of that complaining. He saw it's not going to get him nowhere. Don't matter if he's right. Don't matter if he's wrong. You ain't going to get nowhere with it. Just do what you got to do. Put your head down and get to work. So with that being said, that's another thing I respect from fucking Tyron Woodley is that he's fucking gets to work. He's grinding. He's doing multiple different things, whether it's fucking Champ Camp, putting that content out there, whether it's fucking grinding on TMZ, whether it's fucking learning some new acting role, whether it's being the welterweight champion, training hard for that. He's in here fucking mopping the mats and shit as the champ, just grinding. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely respect the grind from the champ Tyron Woodley, and the less and less complaining he does, there's really not much you can say about him. You know, what is there negative you really have to say about Tyron Woodley at this point, except for you could talk about his last performances. Yeah, all of his fights aren't the most entertaining, but he's had some great ones. His knockout over like Josh Koscheck, Robbie Lawler, the champion, the first fight with Wonderboy Fight of the Night at UFC 205. So yeah, he's had a couple snoozers. We can't deny that for sure. And that's one thing that I don't think this fight at UFC 228 can be. I think if Tyron Woodley can come in here and get a non-boring win, I think the world, I don't want to say the world falls at his feet, but I think he just wins that much more people back over. Because really the only knock you can have against Tyron Woodley right now is that his fights are boring. That's the only thing people really still have to say about Tyron Woodley. But with that being said, if he comes out here and fucking knocks out Darren Till or something, you gotta stop saying that for a while until he has another boring fight. Not even just knocks him out. If he just has an entertaining fight against Darren Till and defends his belt, people can't say that. I think Tyron Woodley will really win a lot of the fans over, and not just because of, you know, an entertaining performance, but also because he stopped complaining. Everything people were complaining about, he's fixing those issues. You know what I'm saying? Everything. And if he can, the only one he hasn't yet is that fighting style. So we'll see. I don't think this main event has room to be boring for either one of these fighters. Darren Till's last performance against Wonderboy, that didn't make everybody jump out of their seats. That people criticized that fight for being a little bit of a snoozer as well. And he missed weight. So Darren Till, neither Tyron Woodley nor Darren Till has the room to come in here with a lackluster performance. So that should make for a great main event at UFC 228, I'm not going to lie. Because neither one of these guys can, even if Tyron Woodley wins, if it's a boring fight, people are going to fucking kill him for it. And ain't none of that shit. Darren Till, same thing. At least he'll become the champion, but both of these guys need an entertaining performance. So, crossing my fingers. But with that being said, let's see what the chat full-time family's talking about. We got 46 people watching, 33 thumbs up. That's about 13 people still finishing up the bagels. When you're done biting on your bagels, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. We got a little more to talk about before we end the show today, and I got to get to work. Rodney Timber Wilkes says, I swear if I hear Woodley use Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condit's names one more time. And Fat Ninja Flip says, watching Conor from the start of his career makes you respect him. I used to hate on him. That's what I said. I recently watched that Notorious documentary not too long ago because it's on Netflix. Great. It's a great movie, and it highlights the highs and the lows. You know, in that fight with Chad Mendes, he was in a bad spot a couple times. But they let you know, like, yeah, he can be down, but he's not out. Stillman MC says, Woodley can use anyone's names he likes as long as he isn't lying. There are fewer names anyone can use in regard to Till. And, yeah, you're right. He said there's fewer names that anyone can use in regard to Till, and that's the point being made. Peak Tyron trumps peak Till for achievement. Oh, yeah, Tyron Woodley's resume is impressive. I mean, yeah, he's had a couple losses. He lost to Rory and he lost to Ellenberger. But, I mean, we can just pull it up real quick. He's beat some of the best of the best. Let's pull it up. And, I mean, people say what they want, but there's something to be said about Tyron Woodley being a champion. There's not a lot of people that really want that super fight. You know, it's the era of champ versus champ. You don't really hear much about the 155-pound champ calling out Tyron Woodley. You know what I'm saying? As far as, I mean, it is a 15-pound jump, but we see DC jumping up to heavyweight. We see it going on a lot, you know. And even GSP came back. That's not a title he's interested in taking. He's looking for legacy fights. So, I mean, let's see Tyron Woodley's resume to date, though. He has some impressive wins, but of course he has that loss. So I think someone pointed this out. Let me pull this up real quick. Someone pointed this out, though. If Rory McDonald beats Gegard Mousasi at Bellator, I don't know the exact number, but it's going to be on the same card as Rampage Silva 4. If Rory McDonald beats Gegard Mousasi, he's for sure the best welterweight on the planet, right? As far as he's already got the win over Tyron Woodley. If he can fucking beat Gegard at middleweight, that would say so much for Rory McDonald. He would also be the champ over at Bellator. If Rory beats motherfucking Gegard, dog, ooh, he would be making a case. But yeah, Stephen Thompson twice. I mean, of course, Robbie Lawler, Kelvin Gastelum. And Kelvin Gastelum, I believe, missed weight in that fight by 10 pounds. Tyron Woodley still got that W. But I don't even think Kelvin Gastelum tried to cut weight for that fight. He came in like 10 pounds over. And get this, Tyron Woodley gave him his money back. That really shows Tyron Woodley's not in it for the money. He could have took Kelvin Gastelum's money then. He said, no, I know people work too hard. They fucking work their training camp and everything. Give that young man his money back. So really, you can't say Tyron Woodley's in it for the money if way back in 2015 he was giving Kelvin Gastelum his fight purse back after he missed weight by 10 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And he's just made more money since then. So you can't really say Tyron Woodley just wants money. He said that from the beginning. I don't want money fights. I want fucking legacy fights. But it is what it is. Just like GSP, I want legacy fights. But of course, a money fight would be awesome too. So he fought Gastelum, of course. Dong Hyun Kim had that loss to Rory McDonald, win over Koscheck and Carlos Condit. Both of those KO TKOs. Were you not entertained? Holy shit. So he knocked out Koscheck, Condit, knocked out Kim. And then he had the split decision with Gastelum, who missed weight by 10 pounds, and then knocked out Lawler. You know what I'm saying? So those are all entertaining unless you were rooting against him. You know, it's never entertaining when the guy you're rooting for loses. And I could imagine there was a lot of people. I think I picked, I don't recall who I picked, but I think I might have picked Robbie Lawler to win that fight, if I'm not mistaken. I know a lot of people did. He was still the champ, but Woodley came in there and knocked him out pretty quick. But yeah, so Jay Heron, I mean, of course, back in Strikeforce, Jordan Main, Paul Daly. He's been fighting the best since back in the day. That's one thing you got to say. Tarek Safadine, Paul Daly, Jordan Mean, they're still in the UFC today, and he was fighting them back in 2011, 2012. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait for UFC 228. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, Tyron Woodley taking on Darren Till. Yipperman says, fighters using the term money fights are just annoying, whoever they are. Yeah, you know, they definitely are. You know, they are prize fighters, but people don't really want to hear about them trying to get the prize. You know, they want to hear about the fights. And that's one thing I got to give Tyron Woodley his credit for. He never really came out and said, I want a money fight. He's really always used the word legacy fight. It just kind of got twisted, taken out of context, because he used the word like Nate Diaz, and they're like, wait, how's that a legacy fight? You don't want a legacy fight. Nate Diaz isn't a legacy fight. And he was just saying that's a household name. That will get Nate Diaz, regardless of how certain hardcores feel about him, whether he's a champion or not, as far as your legacy is concerned, beating Nate Diaz would be big for anybody's career. At this point in time, how big of a star Nate Diaz is, that puts you on a lot more people's minds. If Dustin Poirier comes in here and fucking knocks out Nate Diaz when the world is watching Nate Diaz's return, all of the world, a lot of them motherfuckers are going to know who Dustin Poirier is. Kind of like when Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor. People, the casual fan, the crossover stars, they weren't all on Nate Diaz like that. But when he beat Conor McGregor, goddamn, star overnight. So that's the type of shit that happens when you get a win over a popular fighter. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, we'll see what happens. It is what it is. Moving on, though, we got a little more things to talk about. We got 45 people watching, 38 thumbs up. That's a good ratio. I think we can get those 6 more people to finish up the bagels and hit that thumbs up button before the show is over. John Lineker attempts to step in against Zabit Magomedsharipov, gets shut down. Not by Zabit. Zabit was DTF. He was down to fight. But the UFC, I believe, they have other plans. You know how that goes. And I don't know, man. Zabit, his teammates, some of the best fighters in the world, Marlon Moraes, fucking Frankie Edgar, these guys that train over, Mark Henry, he's got a great team, and they say that he whoops all their ass. Eddie Alvarez in the training room. That's how good they say Zabit is. And it's like, it's still interesting for him to be that good, for the UFC to not just let him take this fight. John Lineker's a pretty big name. We all know who Lineker is. So we'll see who they get. Maybe they just get like a bigger named featherweight or a ranked featherweight to take this fight. Shit, I know one possibility. I think somebody, I don't know who brought it up, but Artem Lobov. I think Artem Lobov versus Zabit the Russian Hammer versus Zabit Magomedsharipov. I think that would be a fun fight. But Artem Lobov recently got booked. But I just thought that would be fun. But I don't know who Zabit's going to fight, but it looks like it's not going to be John Lineker. This is what happened. John Lineker took to Twitter and says, hey, Zabit, since Yair is out and no one wants me in my division, I'll fight you, man. At Zabit, Dana White, Sean Shelby. Zabit said, I'm in. Let's do it. Call Mr. Sean Shelby, but we called him. He said, you're too small, but I'll fight you. Much respect for stepping up. So it looks like the matchmaker said John Lineker's too small, you know, and that might be like an image thing, trying to build Zabit more as a star. Like, and I know it sucks to say if you're a fucking small person, you don't want to hear this, but it doesn't look as good maybe on the highlight reel or on the resume if you beat not only a bantamweight but a smaller bantamweight. If you get a fucking knockout, people will be like, yeah, you fucking knocked out. Now, we know who John Lineker is, but it just doesn't, I guess, look as good because I don't know, other than that, why Sean Shelby would say that he's too small. I don't know what too small means other than, you know, it just doesn't, it's not the direction we're going for Zabit. You know, maybe it's like, if you're trying to build Zabit up, you can't just say, oh yeah, but in this last fight he beat a bantamweight. You know, you want him to move up. Like last fight he fought Kyle Bochniak was a great fight, but he was unranked. This fight he fought a bantamweight. So if you're trying to bring him up, get him up closer to the title, then maybe, yeah, John Lineker isn't what you're trying to do. But I don't know how that's too small. That would be more of a weight thing. But John Lineker says smaller, but I am game. And, you know, being a short notice fight, you might need a bantamweight to step up. You know, he might not be able to cut all the way to bantamweight this soon, but he might be able to make it to fucking featherweight. John Lineker being smaller, that might make him be able to make the weight. So hopefully we get to see Zabit on the card, but we'll see what happens. It won't be against John Lineker, it says, and somebody shared this on Twitter. Who cares about size different? John Lineker can handle gangly MFs. Don't worry about that. And they shared this. Whoo, 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 whoo. Ooh, look at John Lineker. One more to the body, though. Oh, he tried. John Lineker, he definitely can handle himself. You ain't got to be worried about hands of stone John Lineker. That's what I'm saying. For them to say he's too small, it's got to be something to do with, like, I'm guessing the promotion of Zabit. That's what I'm guessing. Because I don't know what too small means. Zabit says, I can't respond to everyone who calls me out. The UFC will pick one of you. Let's go. So there's a lot of people offering to step in and take this fight. We'll see who it is. I do know Zabit is a guy that not kind of like Justin Gaethje, but not like Justin Gaethje, because he brings the fight. He makes it very fun, but he's not the same style of Justin Gaethje of, you know what I'm saying? He's not taking all that damage. But at the same time, that fight versus Kyle Bochniak was a super fun fight. His fight before that was as well. But like I said, Kyle Bochniak was just super game. We'll see who the UFC books. But as far as that is concerned, also Zabit, he's taking a shot at Yair Rodriguez, who pulled out of this fight. The whole reason we need an opponent for Zabit is because his original opponent, Yair Rodriguez, seems to be ducking his motherfucking taco. That's just what it seems like, because there was reluctance from Yair in the very beginning to take this fight. It seemed like there was a whole Dana White was wanting this fight at UFC 227. I believe he might have announced it on the UFC Unfiltered podcast, and Yair Rodriguez posted hashtag fake news. Dana White was like, all right, well, he's cut from the UFC. How about that? Hashtag real news. Yair got cut for being reluctant to take this fight and, you know, and not taking it. So then they reconcile. He's back in the UFC. The fight gets booked, UFC 228. And Yair's got a motherfucking injury. Of course you do. You know what I'm saying? And so Zabit's like, no more running, man. We all know you're running. You know, that's what it's looking like for sure for us as well. But no more. He said, you know, yeah, you can't fight me today, but you're going to be fighting me, motherfucker. I don't know. Yair, I don't know if he fucked Zabit's girl. Like, Zabit wants Yair's number. No, it's like fucking Yair. He's got to fight Yair. He wants him. He wants to beat him up for some reason. I don't know if he don't like Mexicans. No, that's a joke. I don't know what it is, but Zabit wants to beat the fuck out of Yair. He has wanted to for a while. Jorge won with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much, good sir.
The money channel?
The fuck is this, the money channel? Thank you very much, good sir. Much appreciated. Jorge won. Yeah, but I don't know what it is, man. He really wants to fight Yair. And it's not like, you know, it's not like he's just like, man, Yair's the best. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. Yair's coming off of a pretty bad loss. But for some reason, Zabit wants Yair's head. And I say that because this fight's been talked about for a while now, almost been made. Yair's super reluctant, but the UFC and Zabit are like, no. Even now that he's injured, they're like, end of the year, you can't run nowhere. You can't get injured again. What happened? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it really seems like they want to make this fight. Not only has there been a lot of talks of it for a long time now, but there was a point where Yair Rodriguez was supposed to be showing up at the Performance Institute. Zabit got word and was like, well, I'm going to chill here till he shows up. I'm going to try and make this fight. When he shows up, I might fucking, respectfully, or who knows, maybe it'll get disrespectful. Who knows? But I'm going to chill here till Yair gets here and try and get this fucking fight. Yair never showed up. So Zabit really wants this fight. I believe the report was he waited there for an hour, if not two. He waited there for a while for Yair to show up, and he never showed up. So Zabit has been waiting and waiting and waiting for just to whoop Yair's ass. Now he's going to probably get another opponent, but this is what he had to say for afterwards. He said, Pantera UFC, if you're injured or not, I'm fighting regardless. So get your mind prepared for a battle. I'm going to fight someone in September, and I will fight you November or December. No more running Sean Shelby, Dana White. So I believe he's still going to be fighting on UFC 228. He said in September, right? That card's coming up in September. Yeah, it's going to be early September. I believe September, I don't know, got the exact date, 7th or something. We can look at it right here. Schedule. But yeah, so he said, I'm going to be fighting in September. I believe he's going to stay on the card. But just know, Yair, you're still next. You're still next. Webb's PK Vid says, I can't say Zabit's last name to save my life. Magomedsharipov. Fat Ninja Flip says, if you took UFC fighters to bare knuckle, who do you think would be champ? I don't know, because it's bare knuckle boxing right now. You know what I'm saying? They're more used to the glove size, but less just the punching. They're more used to throwing kicks and grappling and shit. So yeah, September 8th. So Zabit said, I'm still fighting in September, but I'll fight you in November or December. And of course, those are big cards. You know what I'm saying? The November cards, the Madison Square Garden a lot of the times, December, end of the year, Cyborg versus Nunes, 232, 230. I mean, he's just saying sometime later this year, I'm on your ass, boy. So Fat Ninja Flip says Max is a beast. Fat Ninja Flip says would be interesting to see good fighters with no wrestling. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would love to see like Mike Berry and that shit. Yo, it's a good place for like Felony Charles Bennett. I can't wait to see his fight low key because he's gonna be in bare knuckle boxing. One of his, even though he's been very strong and able to be successful in some of his fights, his downside is you could probably say his grappling, his jiu-jitsu or whatever. But in bare knuckle boxing, yo, what the fuck is about to happen? I can't wait. And then even the queen of bare knuckle, which we're going to be talking about really soon, Beck Rawlings, her last fight, super fucking fun versus Alma Garcia. So, I mean, we got one more thing to talk about before that, though. James Vick on a fight with Conor McGregor. I win that fight pretty easy, he says. I don't know. I do know James Vick's very confident in himself, but you might have the Mystic Mac fucked up. You just might. But, of course, you're supposed to be confident in yourself. What's he supposed to say? Oh, yeah, man, I'd go out there and Conor McGregor would probably fucking sleep me in the first round. What's he supposed to say? Of course he went fix himself. But this is what he had to say. In my mind, I'm 6 inches taller than the guy. I've got a 5-inch reach advantage. I'd beat the brakes off Conor McGregor in my mind. I'd love to take that fight. I would love to fight him. And not just for the money, but to beat a guy with a name like that. Kind of like we were talking about earlier with the household name. Not even just about the money. Beating a guy like that's still a big opportunity, whether you're getting the check or not. He says you'd go down in history as well. And I really think that I can win that fight pretty easily. I really do. With my range and movements, and I win that fight pretty easy. He says a lot of people hate on Conor McGregor, but I think he's phenomenal for the sport. He's brought attention and media coverage to our sport that we wouldn't get from other avenues. He has different companies that wouldn't be interested in MMA, all of a sudden very interested in MMA and the UFC. So I love the fact that he's in the UFC. I love the fact that he's in my weight class, and I would love to fight him. It would change my life. He's a great fighter, and he's very good for the sport. So paying his respect, but of course he picks himself to get that W. Infamous says James Vick is funny. He got dropped 3 times by Nick Wayne, who was a low-level southpaw, but he's saying he is saying the right thing. Yeah, like yeah, man, I fought a southpaw in the past and I got dropped, so Conor McGregor would probably fucking ice me, dog. I'm like, of course he thinks he would have won that fight. And he also does have some attributes. He is pretty tall, does got some reach, but like I said, man, that's Conor McGregor we're talking about here. We got one more thing to talk about before I got to head out for work, and this is, of course, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships 2. Beck Rawlings is now the queen of bare knuckle boxing. This is gonna be a good card. I wish I had the full fight card right here, and it's going down tomorrow as well. Maybe I can find the full fight card, but this is what the queen of bare knuckle boxing had to say. Bare knuckle was meant for me. I can't wait to face off against Britain Hart August 25th. This sport is all about precision, and I know she's gonna come in and fight and try to take this momentum from me. I'm not gonna let this happen. So she's looking forward. I mean, you got Chris Lytle. Let's pull up this BKFC 2. Let's be LFC FC 2 fight card. Let's see if we can pull it up right here. Let's see. We got Tony Lopez, Chris Lytle, Johnny Bedford, Reggie Barnett, Marcel Stamps. Oh shit, they got Crazy Horse on here. If they say Crazy Horse Bennett on here, I know Felony's probably pissed off about that. If he saw that, he'd probably pull off this card. I'm not even lying. Ain't nobody. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely playing him a little bit. But as a business, that's sometimes what people do. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, he's on the card. So there's a lot of names you might recognize. It's gonna be a fun card for sure. Beck Rawlings, and see right here they say Felony on the poster though. Kendall Grove. It could have been an error, you know. It could have been just a technical error on the website. We'll see. Either way, man. With that being said, it's Friday, man. Thank y'all for coming through to the show. 33 watching, 44 thumbs up. We did it, full-time family. If you're still watching, if you're watching on the replay, do me a favor, hit thumbs up. Maybe we'll get unshadow banned one of these days. Yipperman says funny shit, man. I'm him says ha ha ha. Is y'all laughing at them or oh yeah, the James Vick thing? Stamina MC says James Vick irritates the shit out of me. I think he might get it done against Gaethje, but I just want him to sure up either way. Yeah, man. I in my predictions, I actually got Gaethje. I think a lot of people are doubting Gaethje because he just lost 2 fights and because of his fighting style. But he definitely presents a lot of problems. It's going to be a close fight. Anybody can win. Now and later says, who's that girl fighting Beck Rawlings? She's cute. I'll go in that without a glove. Faux show. I didn't see who she was fighting. I forget her name, but she said her name, though, right here. Let me see. Did I already close that thing? I already closed it, I believe. Damn, yeah, I think I already closed it, unfortunately. But, fuck. Yeah, so, I don't know, but yeah, you know, the fight's going down tomorrow. I'm sure a quick little bit of research on Google, 3 seconds, we could figure that out. So, with that being said, Stamina MC says, chill. He said, chill. And yo, that's pretty funny. Hey, it is what it is, you guys. I appreciate you guys coming through. It's Friday. Of course, we're going to be doing a live fight companion tomorrow. Be there or be square. We'll probably start it up either during the early prelims or at the beginning of the fight. There's a lot of good fights, so we might just start at the Fight Pass prelims or we might start at the Fox Sports prelims. Either way, we're going to be doing a live reaction, having some fun. So come through, be there or be square. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And by the way, if you're here now, you know, check out this new format. There's going to be a new format for our videos, full-time family. You guys get the sneak peek. It's going to be me talking like this, but in each video, we're going to be going like if I was doing a video right now on fucking Conor McGregor and Khabib's father, I would just be talking like a normal video, but you get to look, at least you got some more to look at. You got the little slideshow going on. So you know what I'm saying? It's going to be, we're doing things here at the channel. We've been working. I mean, it's a good time to be a part of the full-time family because we got nothing but better stuff to come. Just better and better from here. So thank you guys being here with me on a Friday evening before I get to work. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.